Hi, welcome back to Fruitful Minutes. First off, Happy New Year. It's 2020, we're here. And with the new year comes New Year's resolutions. So Callie, I'm sure you know firsthand with clients, like people are coming in with New Year's resolutions for their diet and they want to change something about their health. So with this series, we're going to dive into some popular diet trends. Dr. Callie is going to help us kind of decode what they do, what some of their benefits might be, and how you might incorporate them if you're interested. Yeah. So let's get started with the first one.
So we're going to start off with paleo diet.
A big one.
Big one. It's popular. Do you know much about it?
I know that it's, all diets seem to be restrictive to some degree.
You bet.
Paleo, not so much. I really don't know what we are cutting out specifically.
Oh, okay. So paleo diet is also known as hunter-gatherer diet or the ancestral diet.
Okay.
You're basically sticking to foods that grew or walked on the earth. So you're cutting out grains of all kinds.
Okay.
You're cutting out legumes. You're cutting out processed foods.
Okay.
And dairy.
Okay. Question on that, because I would think grains would be around.
They grew,
right? So why are we cutting those out?
So grains and legumes both have to undergo a considerable amount of cooking to consume them, right? You can't just go out in the field, pick them, and eat them.
Okay.
So because of the amount of processing necessary to actually consume those, the ancestors didn't typically eat those foods on a regular basis.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right? So that's why, because people are like, legume, they grow on the ground. Yes.
Even in terms of the cooking process, though, we're talking as whole, non-processed as possible.
Right.
Okay.
So, and truly, like true ancestral diets, they ate seasonally as well. If we stick to region and season, it would be very limited.
Yes.
So this day and age, it's very easy to do a good paleo diet with variety. You can get avocados all year long.
Right.
But if you were sticking to foods that only you ate during the season and then in your region, it would be very limiting.
Pretty tough, yeah.
But that's what they did back in the day.
Okay. So why would someone want to try this diet? Like, what are some benefits?
Right. So there are a lot of benefits to paleo. So it is what we were originally made to eat.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the thinking. So you're cutting out a lot of inflammatory foods by eliminating processed foods, the sugars, the grains, the carbs.
Okay.
So a lot of people are doing it for inflammation balancing purposes.
Okay.
Because you're cutting out a major source of sugars and carbs, a lot of people also do it for blood sugar support.
Oh, okay.
Which is a good reason to do it.
Okay.
Other reasons people do it, lots of allergies or it's a mini elimination diet.
Okay.
So by getting rid of processed things and sticking to only whole foods and nutrient dense things, you typically can weed out things that you're consuming that are bothering you.
And that's good to note that considering a diet change might not be because you want to lose weight. It could be just that allergy purposes or things like that.
Right.
Okay.
And I would say the most popular reason people adopt some dietary changes is, for weight loss.
Right.
But there's a lot of benefits that
So,
people are missing.
And with eliminating certain things, that could mean that we're eliminating nutrients. So how do we fill in those gaps?
So it is really important to note that. So there's lots of benefits to a lot of different dietary practices, but by cutting out whole food groups of things, you can be cutting out whole chunks of nutrients
especially for grains, because I'm sure there's benefits to the grains. Right.
Because you're even cutting out things like rice and oat, all those got to go.
Yeah.
So by cutting out grains, we're cutting out a lot of minerals. So a lot of magnesium, a lot of selenium. Anybody who does a gluten-free diet, they're typically selenium deficient because they're not getting it in food sources because it's heavy in grains.
Okay.
So things like Brazil nuts provide selenium. You can do mixed mineral content to get in extra minerals.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. And because also with the grains, you're lacking fiber. So is there something we could fit in for that?
So anybody considering fiber, I like food sourced fibers better than the fiber supplements anyways.
Okay.
But hemp seed, flaxseed, and chia seed, they're all good sources of fiber. They all have good protein and they all have good fatty acids in them. So to me, it's a win-win because you can incorporate them in many different ways.
Yes.
You're getting good fiber.
Okay, cool.
Easy.
So it kind of keeps your diet well-rounded even if you might be eliminating some things.
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
Thanks for sharing those tips. We hope that was helpful for you guys if you're considering a diet, dietary changes around the new year. If you have any experience with paleo or any type of questions, leave them in the comments below. We look forward to seeing you on the next Fruitful Minutes.